All right. We are back at the Grit Won't Quit podcast powered by Wingman. And I got a very special guest here today. I got my buddy Sam Hernandez. What's going on, my man?
What's up, brother?
How are you? Nice to see you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Listen, for all the smack that we talk back and forth,
yes.
It's good to have you on the podcast. I'll razzle you a little bit this morning. But you are a man of many talents, man. I met you through Mike Greco when the toy drive was expanding from Wall and Point and Brick to the Freehold area, Freehold Hal area. And he said, Sammy's the guy to talk to because you're super generous. You're always helping out the community through your police department, where you're a detective of the Freehold Borough Police Department.
Yes, sir.
What's that borough number? What is it?
101. My badge number is 101.
Badge 101. So if you're looking for Sammy, he's badge 101 in Freehold.
Yes.
One of my guys got pulled over the other day, and thankfully your card got him out of it.
Yeah, there you go. Those are always helpful.
You know, I try to tell these guys, you have the card, it's not to use. It's like an insurance policy. You never really want to use your insurance policy.
No.
Same thing with the card. You have it so you have something, but you're not supposed to get pulled over. But here we are.
It happens.
So you're a man of many talents. You are a detective in the police department, like I said, and you also give back to the community, and everyone in the Freehold Borough community loves you.
I hope so. I hope so.
Even though you're the cop, I feel like I feel like you've made great relationships with a lot of people in the area to help them, live a better life.
Yeah. No, it's great to give back to the community, especially the kids.
Yeah.
We both engage with that, and we love, especially having you as Santa when we're doing the toy pickups and obviously, just giving out to the community. It's a tremendous feeling. It's very rewarding.
We've given out a lot of toys in Freehold. What have we been doing it for 4 years?
I believe it's 4. Yeah.
So 4 years, and say on average in Freehold, we've given out probably 2,500 toys a year.
Yes,
10,000 toys.
Yes, sir.
10,000 toys and gifts for those that are less fortunate in the community.
Yeah, and I also want to say that we've also helped other entities and other communities because that we're lucky to collect enough toys to be able to have enough to put them out there for anybody that needs them during that Christmas time.
Yep, and it's great that you have downtown Freehold and Jeff and Drew on your side to help. With business relationships of businesses in the area, that they were able to help secure bins in the neighborhoods too.
100%. Downtown Freehold does a tremendous job. Jeff and Drew. But big shout out to all the Freehold businesses that participate. There's too many to name them all, but
you always get them all on board.
It's all about the community. I think Freehold is that's the way it's the makeup of Freehold. It's just tight community. Everybody knows everybody, and we all help each other. But big shout out to all the businesses.
Yeah, and we'll be back this December.
And also, the police department, all the guys that help out as well. It's not just me. It's us as a. You're
the guy who we all go to.
Yeah,
and then you go to all the people to get it done.
Yeah.
The same thing happens for me.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's my toy drive. It's not my toy drive. There's a lot of people behind it to make it happen, to give out all these toys. But I'm glad that we were, years ago we were connected, because it's just been a great friendship. It's been a great community event to expand our efforts. And again, I think two people in their teams could do it better than one person in their team. So
and for those that don't know the name, we call it a Santa trolley, right? Because of the trolley that you guys bring on, and we go around town and just making noise, making sure Santa is in town.
The holiday trolley is a great thing for everybody. And then again, even when your whole police department gets on that Saturday to run through Freehold, that's pretty funny.
It's always a fun. We look
bring
forward.
Your family there.
Yeah, my kids. I mean, my wife and kids and friends and everybody that jumps in that trolley is with one purpose, to have that enjoyment of giving out toys to all these kids.
I'll have Andrew put it in the podcast, but last year I had to leave early, and one of your guys took me back to the police station to get my car, and there's a picture of me and my wife with the cuffs on.
Yes, I remember you. He was super happy that happened to him. I actually wanted it to be real. So
listen. There's nothing real about it. You're never going to get me those cups. So
one of these days.
You better use that picture, because that's all you're going to get from me. So that's awesome. So how many years been on the force?
I'm gonna be. I'm completing. Well, actually, I'm starting my 19th year.
19th year.
Yeah.
All within Freehold.
No, I started as a Monmouth County sheriff's officer in 2008. Yep, and got laid off unfortunately when the economy got bad
Oh, wow.
in 2009, and then I started. Freehold picked me up. Due to the fact that I'm bilingual,
Yeah.
to fit the community. So, and I've been in Freehold since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've never really heard of a top layoff.
Yeah, it happened a lot in 2009. I mean, it was a big thing in 2009.
They just couldn't afford
It wasn't just the Monmouth County Sheriff's Department. It was like multiple towns throughout the state.
Wow.
And they created something called a rice bill. So everyone that got laid off went into this rice bill. So any town that was then looking to hire could opt to go to that rice bill where all these officers were. And at the time, being laid off for 6 to 8 months was not fun, obviously, but it was just me because me and another guy from the sheriff's department both got hired by Freehold Borough, and we've been there since. He's batch 100, I'm batch 101.
101, my man, 101. All right, so you also have you're a hustler.
I try.
You definitely don't just work a 40-hour week and then go home and
No. What's a 40-hour week?
and go watch TV and go watch YouTube and do what other people do. So you also have Sam the Mortgage Man.
Yes,
so
sir.
let people know about Sam the Mortgage Man.
Sam the Mortgage Man, it's my own branding for my mortgage business. Obviously, I'm an employee with Advisors Mortgage, by the way, one of the best lenders, if not the best lender in New Jersey.
What makes them the best lender, or one of the best?
Just the owner. Starts with the owner, Steve Meyer. His wife, Amy Meyer, are tremendous people. I mean, humble. If when you meet Steve and Amy, you wouldn't even know that they're the owners because they're helping people, they're serving people.
They're getting it done.
They're getting done, and it's a tremendous family environment, which I've been around your team, and that's what it feels like here. Wingman it's a family approach, right? Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody's stuff. So Advisors has been created like that and continues to be that. It's going to be that way because that's how Steve is. And it's been a family, for the last 5 years. And they're tremendous.
What made you want to get into that?
What, mortgage?
Yeah.
It's a funny story, right? So 2005, I was in between jobs because I was trying to become a cop even back then, right before that. And I was a dispatcher with Neptune. I was started as a Fairhaven. That was my first police job ever as a dispatcher. Then I went to Neptune. Okay. Then I went to Monmouth County Sheriff's Dispatch Center. And I just, dispatching was just crazy.
Wasn't your game?
No, it's just different because you're not out in the streets and you're sending cops and firefighters and EMS to like places, and you always get left with that feeling like, what happened?
Yeah. And you wanted to be there.
I wanted to be at the scene.
I wanted to be there. Yeah. You ever seen the movie The Other Guys?
Yeah. Yes. Just like I want to be there. So I was that my mind. So my friend called me. His name is Luis Torres. The reason I'm in the mortgage game, he calls me and say, "Hey, bro, like I need a bilingual person that is good with people." And he's like, "There's no better than you."
Yeah, you're the guy.
He's like, I'm like, "What am I supposed to do?" He's like, "Come on, I'll show you, and like you'll be my processor." So long story short, I went. I used to travel all the way to Bayonne. I used to live in Red Bank at the time, and it was a long drive, but it was well worth it because then I got to learn the backside of the business, meaning like how to put a loan together because I was processing and stuff. And ever since then, and then one day I went to him. I'm like, "Hey, I want to be a loan officer like you are." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yep." And I'm like, "What do I got to do?" He's like, "Nothing." There was no rules back then.
Yep.
There was like...
It was the Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West. So I tell people this story all the time. So I'm like, "So what do I got to do?" He's like, "Nothing." He's like, what? He's like, "What's your full name?" I'm like, "Sam A. Hernandez," whatever. And he's like, "Go to the printer." I go to a printer. He printed out a certificate that says loan officer Sam Hernandez. put,
I love it.
we
Put it on the door.
we put it on the wall, and he's like, get your customers. And then he's like, you're still gonna process my loans, and then you're gonna and you're gonna bring your own. And I'm like, okay. And I've been doing that since. And then when I became a cop, I kind of took a break, just because I needed to focus in learning that job. And then a year or two, actually like 4 years after, I went back into the mortgage business. And I haven't stopped since. I love it. I love both of my jobs. It's you're helping people in both of them, interacting with everyone in the public. So it's a cool dynamic. The question I get asked the most is like, how do you do both, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
You got a couple cell phones over there.
Yeah, it's a few of them, 4 of them.
So how do you do both? Like, especially like if you're on the job and you're doing your law enforcement, and then someone needs something answered about their.
So thankfully, I have an assistant, and I also have a tremendous processor. So I have 2 people that work with me directly, and they're they're there for me all day, every day. I wouldn't be able to function without their help. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have backbone people like that.
I do. You know Chelsea.
Yes, 100%.
You know Jenna.
Yes.
So and there's more. So again, I rely on a team of people. You can't do it all yourself. And the guys that think they can do it all themselves, they're limiting. Andrew and I had a conversation on the way over this morning about that, and like the guys that are limiting, they limit themselves. Like, you need to have a team. You need to trust that team. You need to work with that team, but you need a team.
100%. And so you mentioned Jenna and Chelsea, which, they're wonderful people. I mean, they come out to the trolley as well. And
I think you owe them a coffee this year.
I do. I got to buy this year. I got to buy. So Aurelis and Grace are my Jenna and Chelsea, right? They're the backbone for me. They're tremendous. And the coolest thing, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, they're an extension of me, right?
Totally.
So like people get to talk to me, we engage. I'm the one that's gonna do their mortgage, but then I'm like, hey, my team's gonna kind of take over, and people don't see any difference because their attitude,
as long as they have the same mindset and the same like, again, helping people. In my world, it's helping business owners, it's helping the nonprofit. In your world, it's helping consumers get their mortgage. And again, in your world, you're helping them with probably one of the biggest investments of their whole life.
Yeah, and I gotta say it like this, like it's so I get the blessing of helping in 2 languages, right? Yeah. So it's a cool aspect of my business because, when I'm dealing with speaking English customers, they can do their own research, and it's easier to understand, especially when you're seeing all these paperwork and the numbers and this. When I'm dealing with Spanish-speaking customers, for them it's a huge thing to have someone like myself.
To have somebody that they could trust.
Yes.
One of their own.
Yes, and for me to be able to explain every detail in Spanish, because it's like you said, it's one of the biggest investments in their lives, and it's the American dream, right? Like we all hear that, and it's a cliche or something that people say, but it is true because, I mean, I tell people all the time, rents are just getting crazy by the minute here in Monmouth and Ocean County, and Jersey overall. I mean, rents are $3,500 for a single family home, $4,000. I mean, if you find anything cheaper, you're like, wait, what? Like, so.
And realistically, like, when you have that kind of rent, you can't get ahead.
No.
You never can get ahead.
No.
Because that rent number is so heavy. No. At least when you have if you have a mortgage of $4,000, but you have a write-off of, whatever at the end of the year, it's a huge difference.
Well, and to me, the most important thing that, besides the write-offs and so, it's the equity you start building, right, through time, because, simple math, $2,500 a month times 12, right?
30 grand.
Times 5, it's $150,000 for 5 years at $2,500.
Yep.
So if you pay that every month, every year, for 5 years, you had $150,000. If your landlord says, "Hey, you gotta go," or I'm selling the house, you can't even take the lock that you change.
No.
Instead, if you start paying a mortgage for 5 years, you built equity. I mean, anybody that's watching, you bought a house in 2019, 2020, your house is double.
Yeah.
Some of them are even triple, right? So that equity just,
It's huge.
it's crazy. So, and if you do leave or sell or you want to rent or whatever, you have a lot of equity, and the portfolio you can create is substantial. So I have a customer that literally closed yesterday who bought a house in Eatontown. And I wasn't involved obviously on the sale because that's not my job. But one of my good friends who's a realtor was, and he bought that house in 2022 or 21 maybe, and he made $450,000
incredible. 5 years.
In that expense. The reason he's selling is because he's moving out to Texas. Just family decision. I am doing his mortgage in Texas.
I expect nothing less.
By the way, I am licensed in 31 states.
What about the other 19?
The
other 19 states that you're not licensed in?
I don't know. It's. I think it's just the dynamic of the way it is. And I should say I'm licensed. I say we are licensed as advisors is licensed.
So advisors is licensed.
Yeah, advisors is licensed to do mortgages in 31 states, and we do well with that because we cover a lot of people moving and stuff like that. And but it's cool. So think about that guy that's selling for that profit and now has money, and what we're doing is he's buying a primary home and a rental all in one shot with the money he created through equity.
The only thing is you got to want to be a landlord.
Yes, which I love. I'm a landlord. I love it, but my own tenants, the moment they meet me, I'm like, hey, listen, let's do a contract for a year, 2 years, whatever they want, right? But I'm like, I want to help you buy a house. And they're like, what? But then you're going to lose me as a tenant. I'm like, no, I'm not. There's so many people, that I can, and I've done that twice already. And it's a cool thing to say that my own tenants have bought a house with my help, and it's sometimes you will want to be selfish, but to me, that's just the right thing to do.
Years ago, my wife and I owned a house in Long Island, and we were ready to sell it. And the tenant, the same similar story. The tenant that first came to me, they were like, "Well, we want to rent for 2 years, but then we want to buy this house." So they ended up buying the house from me, and you had to see them at the closing. They're taking pictures with me, like I was a celebrity. And I was they were a Hispanic family, and they were the nicest people. I'm still friends with them on Facebook and Instagram, and every Christmas they'll send me a text that says, hey Tom, Merry Christmas. They know I don't live in the area, but when I was living in the area in Long Island, they'd be like, oh, stop over tonight, stop over and hang out. So they're just the super nicest people, and they ended up buying the house that we had.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing, to be able to help people. And I'm telling you, you can build so much through real estate. I mean, I always ask people, do you know a rich person or a wealthy person that doesn't have investments in real estate? The answer is usually no. Most of them are either investing in residential or commercial real estate, right, in some sort of way. So to me, that's where it's at.
It's a great vehicle.
It's a tremendous vehicle.
And again, in a lot of cases, you don't have to put down a substantial amount of money to get something, because with mortgages, you can, there's some mortgages, you could tell people, but it's 0 down or a few percentage points down. And again, as long as you can carry the monthly payment. Yeah,
and that's all the that's where the rules change, right? So now we got to we got to pre-approve people the right way, not back in the day way, where you got to show all your stuff and documents and everything, and then we find the right program for you. Actually, advisors and us, we just got an award from the state of New Jersey for being the #1 lending bank for NJHFMA, which is a down payment assistance program, where people get either $15,000 or $10,000 depending on what county they buy. So there's a map, but Monmouth, Ocean, and Middlesex, let's just touch those three, they all get $15,000 as down payment assistance. Obviously, you got to qualify for that assistance, just like everything else. There's rules to it. And then there's also an additional $7,000 that people can get if they're a first-generation homeowner.
Awesome.
So, if no one in their family has owned their house, not forever, it's a 3-year rule. So
Okay.
like if your parents own the house, they sold it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been more than 3 years, you're first generation again.
Wow.
So you can get a total of 22,000 in some counties, or 17 depending
That's
on what
great.
count. It's tremendous, and like I said, we work directly with the state, and you can look it up. We just got the award for being the #1 lending down payment assistant bank with them, and that to me is a great program. But also we have FHA, which is in my opinion the best and most useful program out there for
Okay.
homeowners,
Why
because
is that?
it allows you to put down 3.5%, which
Okay.
is a very low down payment. But most important, like, you don't have to be a perfect buyer, meaning your credit can be low, your debt could be a little higher because the debt to income ratios are higher on FHA programs, and it allows you to buy a single family, a 2-family, a 3-family, or a 4-family. So you could become an investor all in one shot if you
Wow.
find
Yeah.
with only 3.5% down.
That's great.
Yeah, and conventional has the same way. Conventional is the other program, 5%, and same thing. You can buy single, 2-family, 3-family, or 4-family. But it's a great thing, to do. And you buy something that you actually own, and it grows in equity. To me, I tell people and all my clients, like, if you buy a house, don't look at it like now. Think about what happens for 5 years from now, because we all know Netflix is coming, right? Monmouth, by the way, Monmouth County is crazy expensive from a real estate standpoint, from taxes.
How is Middlesex comparatively?
Middlesex is also expensive, but there's still areas.
room?
There's still room, depending on where you're looking.
Yep.
Um,
Ocean's getting crazy too.
Ocean County was like the place you went to, like, all right, I'm gonna get something cheaper down there. It's running out of space for that.
Yeah.
You got to go even further south now, and it's crazy. So to me, the people that didn't buy 2 years ago are like now paying an extra 50
Yeah.
or 75,000, right?
Yeah.
Because they waited. And same thing. What do you think is going to happen 5 years from now?
I know.
This is not going backwards.
It's just crazy though. I feel like Monmouth and Ocean County are just becoming very,
Yeah,
very expensive.
think of Pier Village though.
Yeah.
You have Pier Village where they're building all those beautiful condos that are very expensive.
Yep.
Netflix is gonna be around there. So like, if you own a house in Monmouth County, you're sitting in a pretty good
spot.
because you're
And there's not a lot of inventory.
no.
And there's not a lot on. No, I'm not talking about like the Freehold side of Monmouth County, but the ocean side of Monmouth County.
Yeah.
Like the Atlantic.
Like
Ocean.
the shore.
Yeah,
the
shore area of Monmouth County. There's not a lot to build. There's not a lot of new areas that you can build on.
No, and if you want to, the closer you get to the beach, the more money you're paying.
Yeah.
I happen to live in Long Branch, and my value has continued to grow.
Long Branch keeps getting crazy.
Yeah, Long Branch. I think the cheapest house in Long Branch is probably like $550, and you're getting like a 2-bedroom or maybe an apartment, something like that.
Yeah.
I will have to look it up, but like it's expensive.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And there's opportunities out there. You just gotta find them. I started doing some flips too,
Yeah.
and to me that's one of the other aspects, right? Like understanding and putting my own knowledge to work.
Yep.
And
Do you swing the hammer?
Sometimes, it all depends.
You probably don't even want to see that.
I'm a good painter, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I love to paint. It's relaxing. You just kind of like there.
With 4 phones, one of them's always going off. How the hell can you paint?
Oh, I have these little things right here. I put them on.
Do they connect to all 4 phones?
No, just 2. Because the other 2, if I'm on the other 2,
We got a different problem.
We got a different, or I can't be talking near people. So.
Yeah. And you're not gonna be painting at that point.
No, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna have to take a 15-minute break.
Union rules.
My boss might yell at me, but I'll be back on site.
That's awesome. So, what's a recommendation for, let's start with a young entrepreneur. Like a young entrepreneur out there. I mean, you've done it. Like you came here, you started as a police officer, then you got into the mortgages, now you're doing the flips. So, what do you recommend to this entrepreneur who's like nervous to get out of the gates?
Just take a chance. I think that most people can do what anyone else is doing, is just taking the opportunity on yourself and taking that chance because
Believing in yourself.
100%. And I get asked this question all the time, like, how do you do all this? We all have the same 24 hours I get.
Yep.
You know, it's just how you spend it. Like, you know, and my wife and kids can watch. And by the way, big shout out to my wife because she gets to put up with me.
I think she's a saint.
She is.
I don't even know what the hell she's thinking.
Everybody that knows me tells me the same exact thing. Your wife is a saint. Like, she's already earned her place in there.
She's got it.
Because she puts up with me.
She's got a VIP section.
Think about me, like, of just my brain never stops. It's like, where am I doing? What am I going? Who am I talking? I'm all, you know, and she gets to put up with it. She's been doing it for a long time. You know, we've been together for 33 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, big shout out to her. But yeah, like, my
wife.
wife.
Dating at 9?
We started dating when she was, you know, that young age, and I was the other young age. No, but we've been together. I mean, our son's gonna turn 29.
Wow.
And our daughter is 26.
Wow.
So that tells you everything.
Yeah.
And I'm a young, you know, 47. So, but yeah, my wife can vouch for this. I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things that I think takes people's time away.
Yeah.
If I'm on social media, I'm working. Like, I'm not.
You're not just looking. You're not a scroller.
I'm not looking for the, you know, the funny videos or this. I'm looking for educational stuff.
Yep, sure.
Learning, you know, joining groups that are, you know, motivation groups like this. You know, all that stuff that's gonna benefit me. So I think how we spend our time matters. So for those that are thinking about doing this, like you said, like, a good advice will be just like, put the phone down, shut the noise out, and get to work. You know, it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
You know, it takes time to build, and you learn from the mistakes. So the more mistakes you make, the better you get, right? You know that in the business.
Definitely.
Like, you're like, oh.
What are you trying to say? I make a lot of mistakes?
Yeah, you know, I mean, no, you're perfect, Tom. You're perfect.
Damn, Andrew, throw me on the bus here.
No, but we
You
can.
just said that Jenna and Chelsea are great, but are they great if you're saying I'm making all these mistakes?
Well, no, they keep you great.
Right.
They keep you great.
I told you I was going to break your chops
I
at
know.
some point during
Hey,
this.
they keep you great. But, you know, we both have learned from that.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, when you start and you make a mistake, you think it's the end. It's not. It's a turn that you got to make and say, all right.
And you never make it again. My thing is, I say this to my guys all the time. You make a mistake once. As long as you learn from it, I don't care. Like, it's like when you were a little kid, you put your hand on the stove. If you put your hand on the stove 47 times, well, then you're an idiot.
Yes.
But if you put your hand on the stove once, you burn your hand, you don't do it again. Again, the same thing. You don't know everything as you come into a business. You don't know everything. You're going to learn. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to get yelled at. You're going to keep moving.
100%. And you know, we all, I think the people that have been in the business and like
Understand
that, we grow into that because, you know, when I'm training anyone, because, you know, thankfully I have a few loan officers under me now. I'm, you know, being a branch manager, and that's what I said. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
I have a saying: no one dies from real estate. No one. I haven't met a person who died because of a deal.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that's, you keep that ground and say, okay, you're like, all right. And I'm like, if you make a mistake, learn from it, recover. If you can fix it, and to me, that's one of the biggest things, right? Problem happens. What's the solution? Where are we going with this, and how do we fix it?
Yep.
Instead of dwelling in there like, oh my God, like this happened. So
mine is, we're not curing cancer.
yes.
Like, same thing. Like, I build websites. I'm not curing cancer. Everything's fixable.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's a big thing that when you learn a concept, to keep you grounded and keep you sane, right?
Yeah.
Because you can go crazy if
yeah.
something bad, like if you have it working on a big deal and it falls apart,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, no, it just wasn't meant to happen.
Wasn't meant to be.
That's it, and you keep moving. And I think that's one of the biggest things that young entrepreneurs or anyone starting a business, we have to learn, you know, and we keep evolving into better. Like I literally just said this to my assistant yesterday, and I'm like, we have a 5-year like capture, right, of like what have we done in this past 5 years.
Yeah.
Every 5 years you kind of say, okay, this is working, keep it going. The other stuff that's not working, you know, and you can shorten that by like do a self reflection at the end of the year and say like, and to me, you know, I had a big one last year. I'm like, I need to start doing social media.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, me and you talked about it, like, hey, and I was like, I want to do that. I don't, and I made a mistake to keep saying, I don't know if I have time.
You gotta have time.
And you know what? I now have made time, and I've seen that I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing
Well,
is
you
fun.
like to see yourself on the camera.
No, it's not seeing myself on the camera.
You watch yourself afterwards. You're like, hey, look what I did. Look what I did. And then you go to your wife.
No. It's not that. It's the it's the help we bring to people in what we're the content that we're putting out there to, like, you know, educate people. And like, to me, that's one of the big, and you know, once again, I'm doing it in English and Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, where like, hey, learn about this, understand this. You know, I give people advice to like make sure that they're not making the mistakes I made.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
Oh yeah.
So it's a cool thing. You know.
That's awesome. As we wrap up, let people know where they can find you online, on your social media.
Sure. You can find me at Sam. Actually, because I have 2 pages.
Of course.
So let me
4 phones, 2 pages.
let me make sure I'll give you the right one. So you can find me on Instagram at Sam_the Mortgage Man. My personal page is Sam_Hernandez_ the Mortgage Man. And then, you know, I have my website, which you can Google me and say Sam Hernandez, loan officer advisors, and you'll see my website where you can read all my wonderful reviews.
Awesome.
And you know, and call me. I'm easy to find. 732-693-2858. And
Awesome.
hit me up.
Hit them up. All right. So,
Yeah.
Sammy, thanks for coming on. I'm so glad you did
Brother,
this.
no, thank you for
First
having me.
podcast, right?
First one ever.
First podcast ever.
You
I
know.
told him to post on social media. He's posting on social media. Now I tell him to get on a podcast. He's gonna be on podcast every week. I know it.
I know. Yeah, this
And
was.
he's gonna tell everybody it was his idea too.
No, this was fun, and I appreciate the
I'm glad that you
opportunity.
came on.
Yeah, and I popped my cherry with you.
Keep crushing it out there in Nutbag. All right. Thanks, buddy.
Bro, thank you again, brother. Thank you.